Hello everyone, my name is Mark Smith. I'm the industrial technology teacher at Reed Custer High School, and this is the 5th episode in a series on how can industry get involved with a local school. And sometimes I also call it vision casting. And what is vision casting? Well, vision casting is using words, stories, pictures, video to help people move towards a better understanding of a topic and putting processes in place to help that movement. And so one of the problems that the wood industry is facing today is the education system does not know you exist. High school counselors do not know you exist. And by and large, you are invisible to them. And even if you have a wood manufacturing program at your high school, sometimes because of how it's being run, you still don't really know there's anything going on in the wood industry. And so that's a real problem. And we want to help industry understand, how can you change that? How can you affect the way a school views your industry in a positive way? So today we're going to talk about 4 things that you can do that will help with that problem. So the first one is you can have someone at your company mentor a student. That means you're available for questions about careers. You're available for questions that will help them understand, what do I need to do if I want to get a job in the wood industry? And of course, today there are numerous ways you can stay in contact with a student. You could use email, you can do video calls, you can use phone calls. Now, of course, one of the things that we do, or I do as a teacher, because I'm dealing with minors, and that is, we alert the parents to, this is happening. Are you okay with that? We have them, sign a form for us and saying it's okay for the student to be in contact with this industry person. Because there's so much valuable information that an industry person can convey that even a well-educated teacher may not know, because the teacher isn't out in the field every day working in that industry. So that's a great way to affect how a school, a student views your industry. Another way to do it is you can offer technical support for a student's project. Even though you might be a great teacher, there's going to be things you don't know. Because like any industry, there's a wide range of skills and knowledge that are available, and not everybody knows everything about a particular industry. My mind goes back to when I was teaching at Shiloh High School. I had a student, Emery Luth, and he was working on a project that was an oval desk. And when I say an oval desk, I don't mean the top was oval, I mean the whole thing was oval. And so one of the things that teachers are very careful about is iteration. And so very seldom do we allow a student to do a project that we haven't seen before, we haven't considered, because not only do we want them to learn, we also want them to succeed. And so we're careful not to go too far off the beaten path of the projects we're familiar with, because we don't want this to end in total failure, especially after the students spent a semester to a year on a project and spent all their money and things like that. So technical support is very important. So we had an industry supporter down the road, and that company name was Paul's Machine and Welding. And I believe Ed was my contact there, and Ed used his company to produce the metal surfaces of the jigs we were going to use in a vacuum bag. And these surfaces were rather curved, and they would pre-bend the steel for us and drill holes for us so we could attach it to a wooden fixture. And by the time this jig was done, it looked like part of an aircraft fuselage. And we never could have done that without the support of Paul's Machine and Welding there. I think they're in Villa Grove. And so technical support for that student and their project was fantastic. Another way you can support is by doing mock interviews. You can come into a school and you can run students through an interview process so that they get a real world understanding of how they apply for a job. And you can set them up for success, because a person can look good on paper, but if they don't know how to interview, they may not do very well, and it might make the prospective employer think they're not qualified. So you can come in and do mock interviews. And the last thing we'll talk about today is you can help them with career exploration. You can come into a school and you can set up a time where you talk about a multitude of careers that are available in the wood industry. So the wood industry is just like every other industry. There are people that manage in the office, there are salespeople, there are project managers, there are people that do design work, then you have people out in the shop that are installing, maintaining, and repairing equipment. You have people that operate the equipment in all different departments. And so there are lots and lots of different career opportunities, but no one is more qualified to talk about that than someone who's in it every day. So those are 4 ways that you can change how a school views the wood industry, of course, once you get into the school. And we've talked about that in previous episodes. So have a great day, everybody.